Περνάμε στην επόμενη παρουσίαση από την Αλεξάνδρα Σάξ και Γιούλα Λάμπρου με θέμα The Effects of Technology, Use and Virtual Learning on the Education and Mental Health of Adolescents.
Γεια σας.
Γεια σας.
Okay.
Ευχαριστούμε.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay, Dr. Sachs will begin.
Thank you for having us, and thank you, Mr. Yotakos, for the introduction. So I'm Dr. Alessandra Sachs, and I'm with my colleague, Dr. Lamprou. We're the owners and directors of Learning Wellness Center in Athens, and we'll be speaking to you today in the short time that we have with you on the effects of technology use and virtual learning on the education and mental health of adolescents.
I think
we can skip this slide. So in particularly because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we are all working online professionally, and our student learners, young and old, are also learning online globally. So in particularly adolescence is a very difficult period of development, and we'll be focusing on that and overall well-being. Oops.
Give me a second.
Kind of,
Yeah.
so
No,
just here?
Yeah.
Okay, so as all of us may be familiar with this particular age group, early adolescence is a time of complex transitions with increased responsibility and independence. And during each era of human evolution, the brain has learned to adapt new skills in order to meet the ever-changing needs of the environment. The brain's ability to reinvent and mold itself is of particular significance during the teenage years. Let's see, for you.
As we know, technology has played a very significant role in all our lives for the last decades. Technologies have enabled adolescents in particular to connect with much wider portion of the world, help them broaden their exposure to ideas, customs, ways of life, and diversity of culture. As research postulates, neuroscientists have confirmed the positive impact that the internet has on the brain. Of course, there's also the other side, the negative effect. The literature confirms that the younger generation's dependence on the internet has weakened its social skills. This is even truer because the last year with the pandemic, technology is the only way they communicate. So this has weakened their social skills even more.
So by understanding the range of the neurobiological developments, physical changes, and the social influences and environmental factors that affect adolescent learning, educators need to design developmentally appropriate learning environments that better support adolescents and their ability to be successful academically.
Virtual learning, what is this all about? As probably all of us are familiar since we have been students, motivation is one of the strongest factors for inspiring students to produce work, attend school, in general learn, and we know, and research confirms this, that adolescents are not used to learning in an isolated environment. Online learning has introduced this new reality into all adolescents' lives and is presenting increasingly more challenges to the mental health of youth. Some of the effects that we notice are loss of interest in the future, lack of inspiration, less emotional connections, not so motivated to study anymore. This is very true for students that experience learning difficulties, increase in behavioral issues, and decreased confidence skills. All the virtual education at this point, because of the new digital learning platforms, can be as effective as in-person learning. We have research that proves that the well-being and the skills, the emotional and social skills of adolescents are affected. As their social emotional wellness affects learning, it is important that parents and teachers are aware of this and check in with adolescent students. Changes due to the pandemic may require that students receive support to address these emotional challenges. In virtual education, on-task behavior means Students chat comments, asking, answering questions, having collaborative discussions. And there are two processes that are very, very important: cognitive engagement and affective engagement. Cognitive engagement is the process where refers to the comprehension of complex material or learning challenging skills. In a virtual environment particularly, this engagement may include students showing that they are willing to engage in a task even if it is challenging, and that they persist despite the challenges and difficulties. It also refers to the strategies they use to understand what they are learning. Affective engagement, on the other hand, refers to emotional reactions a student has. Is the student interested? Is there joy expressed? Is the student bringing in, incorporating and learning his or her personal values? Is there a positive attitude? Is the student curious, asks questions, makes personal connections? If a student is not effectively engaged, they will show signs of disinterest, boredom, stress, and anxiety. Students are more likely to be engaged if they feel respected and appreciated, not just by their teachers, but also their peers, and that they have a sense of belonging to the school community.
So in trying to summarize the important information that Dr. Lamprou and I are sharing with all of you, there are three essential domains to think about the effects of well-being on adolescent development and virtual learning in the 21st century. And these are the social emotional domain, which we have been referring to, 21st century learning skills, which in a nutshell is regarding the ability to keep up with technology and learn digitally, and teaching and learning and the relationship of these two and how they go hand in hand. So these three domains are very essential in thinking about the overall well-being and not only the social emotional development, but the educational development of adolescents. As technology continues to shape the world we live in, and it will continue to even post the pandemic, students' brains will also constantly be rewiring and restructuring. Although the computer-based instruction may provide the medium, it's important for educators to recognize that instructional design ultimately must determine the level of effectiveness and success of students' learning. Therefore, it's effective that computer-based instruction is contingent upon considering research behind not only the adolescent brain, but instructional and technology as well. These two are very important. Educators additionally will have the added challenge of not only being experts in their discipline, but also in the field of technology. With the wide range use of e-learning tools available, thorough examination of their use must be aligned with the developing adolescent brain. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.